Alright, welcome to episode 4 of Final Fantasy X Remastered. So last time we saw you guys, we were with Wakka, and we had just come into Besaid village. Wakka had just explained to us the prayer of the Yevonites, and he wanted us to talk to the Crusaders to learn about them in their hut, and we're here now. So let's go ahead and talk to Gada and...
Hey, you! You were attacked by Sin, right? Recently, was it?
I think so.
So, Sin can't be far, right? You're not hiding anything, are you?
Why would I?
If Sin's nearby, it'll attack the island for sure. But it hasn't. I wonder why.
I'm sorry. I really don't know anything. To tell the truth, I don't even know what the Crusaders are.
You're kidding, right?
Sin.
So the Crusaders are the part of the...
tell him who we are.
Yes, sir.
Defense Corps
the
against
Crusaders
Sin,
are sworn
so to
to battle Sin. We have chapters throughout Spira, accepting all who wish to join our struggle. The hero Mihen formed the Crusaders 800 years ago as the Crimson Blades. Later, our ranks grew and we called ourselves the Crusaders. We've been fighting Sin ever since.
What? You've been fighting 800 years and you still haven't beat it?
Yep.
Well, we've steered Sin away from towns many times. And that's all we can do. Nobody's ever been able to defeat it. Our mission as Crusaders is to protect the temples, towns, villages, and people of Spira.
So, then whose job is it to defeat Sin?
Is Sin's toxin really this bad, sir?
It does seem rather bad. We could just tell you, but I think it better for you to try and remember. Go pray at the temple. Perhaps Yevon will help you regain your memory.
So last time we were in a temple, we were in Besaid Temple, and I had mentioned how most of the temples have a similar layout. So we're about to see it now, going into Besaid Temple. But let's go ahead and explore a little bit before we head in there. Long as I'm around, Besaid's weaving will be known as nothing but the best. The Besaid fabric that make here are famous all over Spira. If I buy cheap and sell high, I'll be rolling in gil in no time. On a hot day like today, it's best to be in the shade, yeah? Let's talk to this girl. Who are you, mister? Where are you from? Well, little girl, I am not here by choice.
Go present yourself to the temple summoner before we eat, yeah?
Okay. Let's check this hut. We already got the treasure chest last time. Let's go ahead and stock up. We should be alright. The music is so serene. You'll also notice a lot of the music in the game really reflects where you are and what's happening in the game. So this character is really cool. So I mentioned something about blitzball in the previous episodes. This is one good player you should really keep an eye on. She's a good midfielder and attacker overall. You're the guy from the sea, right? I heard about you from Sir Luzu. So Crusaders are also known as Sir and, you know, Knights. So let's go ahead and go into the temple. So keep in mind to look at the writings on the wall and all the background information. Or the background art. So these statues we're seeing here are all the previous famous summoners. They all get statues after, accomplishing X amount of things. The bigger statues are the high summoners, and the smaller statues are...
It was then, standing in that place.
Minor lower summoners. Sin has been defeated 4 times in the lore of Final Fantasy X, and you can see the 4 big statues here. Lord Braska being...
I began to realize how different this world was from my own.
That's Lord Zeon that we see up top, the biggest ones. There's another lady on to the left side in the top corner. That's Lady Yuna. We'll be seeing a lot more of her later on. The village was attacked by sin when I was just a little kid, yeah? The village was burned to ash. I still have nightmares of that day. Don't bother people when they're praying. It's against the teachings. So this is Lord Braska that we're seeing here.
10 years have passed since Lord Braska became High Summoner. And finally, we receive a statue for our temple.
Well, what's a High Summoner? I got too close to Sin's toxin. It was funny hearing myself make the same excuse over and over. Funny, and a little sad.
The Summoners are practitioners of a sacred art, sworn to protect the people of Yevon. Only a chosen few become Summoners, who call forth entities of great power, the aeons. The aeons hear our prayers and come down to us. They are the blessing of Yevon.
So what he meant was that we should respect some kind of great men, or something like that, I figured.
So he's still really clueless of where he is. He has no idea how the world works, or what the rules that govern it are. So, we were mentioning High Summoners. High Summoners are anybody who's defeated sin. Sin seems to be defeated and renews every time in this world. That's why he's been around for thousands of years. But he's been defeated 4 times, I believe. Once by Lord Braska. No, sorry. He's actually been defeated 5 times. So, Lord Braska, I believe this is Lord Yakun, or Lady Yakun, I should say. And then this is Lord O'Holland, I believe. And this last one is Lord Gandalf. This one right here. And then you're probably saying to me, well, that's only 4. Who is the last one? It's actually Lady Yuna and Lord Zeon. They're the ones who came up with the method to beat Sid. So just look into these rooms really quickly. Let's talk to this guy again. Pray hard and toxin will surely release its grip on you. Okay. I don't think it's the toxin, mate. Let's go see how Wakka's doing.
Sorry, man. No time for lunch. Take a nap.
Yeah, no problem.
You could at least go see how they are doing.
We can't interfere. It's a rule.
But it's been nearly...
So we're just seeing that priest there coming in just to check up on him.
It's been nearly...
It's been nearly a day already.
Perhaps you could go look for us.
People are searching for him now.
So what we're seeing here is a flashback of when Jet disappeared. And that's Tidus's mother trying to get them to go look for her.
Who cares whether he comes back or not? But he might die.
You could really see this resentment in Tidus's voice here.
Do you hate him so?
But what you really fail to appreciate is
you'll never be able to tell him how much you hate
longing and how much the mother misses Jet. she really has a deep bond with Jet in the game. But whereas Tidus has more of a hate relationship with his father. And it's mostly because he feels his mother doesn't give him enough attention because of his father. And to the point where he just wishes he goes away. And when he does go away, he sees his mother in that state there that we just saw. So Wakka went into the temple. Let's go see what he's doing. Also, this symbol that we keep seeing over and over again, this little round thing with the little tentacles, I believe it's a Besaid symbol.
Is something wrong?
The summoner hasn't returned from the trial.
Eh?
Well, apprentice summoner, really.
Huh?
There's a room in there called the Cloister of Trials. Beyond is where the apprentice summoner prays. If the prayer is heard, the apprentice becomes a fully fledged summoner. Remember?
So someone is in there somewhere and they haven't come back out. Right, I got it.
A day's already gone by.
Is it particularly dangerous in there?
Sometimes, yes.
Why don't you go in and help?
There's already guardians in there. Besides, it's forbidden.
Alright.
Hey, but what if something happens? What if the summoner dies?
The precepts must be obeyed.
So his naivety is really getting the best of him. Let's go see what he is about to do.
Maybe. This
breaking
wasn't
the
such
rules
a good
like
idea
he did
after
just
all.
there, that could really get the summoner into some trouble. So what he's doing there is really just breaking society's norms. Yeah, so really the Punisher could be the summoner could be punished by either the Aeon itself or by Yevon itself for breaking the rules. So imagine being in the society and you know, having to deal with all the stigma. So again, we see the symbols on the walls. There's actually a fun fact when we go down to the next part of the cloister. This is the Cloister of Trials. Like I said, we saw that oval room, and then we go into the Cloister of Trials. So let's go ahead and click on this. So we see the three symbols there. The green is the Gilf symbol, which is basically to like open doors and things like that. The symbol on the right is destruction, and the top symbol is basically for activation. And that's the Besaid sphere, there you go. That's what it is. The Besaid spheres activate everything. So we got the Gil sphere here. So if you notice some writing on the wall, it comes in and out. It's actually, fun fact, it's actually the locations of all the temples that you need to reach. And they actually go in order. On the wall here, they fade in and out. The best place to actually appreciate this is actually on this wall here. If you notice, they're all staggered. Or actually, sorry, it's right here. So see, they're all staggered one by one, and they go all the way down. So let's go ahead and put this here. Oh, it's not. Not right here. So there's the destruction sphere like we were speaking about earlier. We need this. So each Cloister of Trials actually has a hidden treasure or a hidden Easter egg, or just a hidden item that you need. But it also unlocks another aeon later on in the game. So let's go ahead and put this back for a second because we need our hands free. Also, another thing is you can only carry 2 spheres at a time, but that's only in Besaid. Sorry, in Bavel. which is the headquarters of Yevon, which we'll see later on when we do the cloister there. But everywhere else, you can only carry one sphere at a time. And then let me just show you this secret item. So majority of all of the destruction spheres actually open up. So let's go ahead and try. So see how it opens up the side. There's the Rod of Wisdom. So Rod of Wisdom can be used for Yuna later on in the game. Well, we'll meet Yuna now when we go down into the Cloister of Trials here. I'm just going to play around with some of the settings really quickly. Hope that's better. Alright. So let's go into this next area where the aeon is held. Also known as the Room of the Fayth.
Hey! What's gotten into you? Hey, it's okay. Only summoners, apprentice summoners, and their guardians can enter here.
I see.
It's a tradition. Very important.
So what about you?
Me? I'm a guardian.
Me too. I'm a guardian too.
A guardian?
Whoa! Ah!
Summoners go on a pilgrimage to pray at every temple in Spira. Guardians protect them. The guardian's in there now. One of them's got a sure fuse, and who knows what the other's thinking. Well, now that we come this far, might as well go all the way.
So we're just about to meet the rest of the gang here. So so far we've met Wakka and Riku of our party.
What are you doing here?
Meet the other two, Kimahri and Lulu.
No, it's... See, I told you she gets mad easy.
Kimahri's a Ronso, in case you're wondering what he is. He's part of the new species introduced into this lore of Final Fantasy. Enter our second main character now. So meet Yuna. She's our summoner and generalized healer in the game. So what she means by that is the aeon has granted her powers, and now she's able to summon it to the field of Spira. Spira being the world we're in.
Man, was I surprised. And here I was thinking summoners were all old geezers.
So let's go and see what she's gonna show us now.
Hey, over here.
So what you're seeing here is Tidus was basically just not believing anything so far in this world.
I can't see anything.
Whatever everybody was telling him, he was just blowing off.
Okay.
Again, we see the two-toned eyes in Yuna, signifying her heritage. Being half Albed and half Spirian, I guess? Yeah. Enter Valefor, our first aeon, and probably my favorite aeon. Looks like a pretty badass bird. And if you notice, he actually has a second head on the back of his ponytail. We just can't see it yet. You'll see it once we
Sure, it was a little scary.
Do some of his moves. It really shows in that.
A strange kind of gentleness coming from it.
And he's off. Valefor. So I'm actually going to name him something else. I'm actually going to name him Victor, after the character Victor in Metabots. I'm not sure if you ever watched the anime, but it's a great great anime and great character.
Everything changed. For everyone. For me.
So see how I was mentioning, he wasn't believing anything that he was seeing or hearing before this, but now he's beginning to come to terms with the reality of the world he's in, and he's really grasping what they're saying to him, and that he may never be able to get back to his own world and his own home of Zanarkand. And that what they say about him, about his Zanarkand being destroyed 1,000 years ago, might actually be true.
What's our goal?
To do our best! Nope, we got a new goal now.
Oh, yeah?
Our new goal is victory!
Also, I've never really understood this. Why is Wakka's hair red and his eyebrows and his beard black or like dark? And it's the same thing when we see his brother Chappu that he mentioned earlier.
Victory! 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 Yeah!
We sure got the boys worked up, huh?
Mm-hmm. That's John DiMaggio again.
You heathen!
Future Mr. Bender.
Stay away from the summoner! You're a bad man!
Lady Yuna.
I don't know why, but that dialogue always makes me laugh.
It was really
You're a
my
bad
fault
man.
to begin with. I'm Yuna. Thank you so much for your help earlier.
Huh? I'm sorry about that. Wasn't I not supposed to? Guess I kind of overreacted.
Oh no, I was overconfident.
I saw that aeon thing. That's amazing.
Really? Do you think I can become High Summoner?
Lady Yuna, come play with me some more.
So, tomorrow then.
Tomorrow?
We're going on the same boat, aren't we?
Oh, really?
We can talk more.
Huh.
So what she's talking about is the journey of the summoner. The summoner has to go through every temple in Yevon. That's part of her journey. Yuna's journey started in Besaid. It'll move to Kilika and the other temples. And she's got to go through and try to inherit the power of the aeons at each irrespective temple. Along with some hidden aeons along the way that we will be tackling once we get there in that part of the game.
Ready for bed?
Absolutely.
Good. Sleep tight.
Where's that boat?
Everyone will find us if it doesn't come soon.
You really sure this is okay?
Would you take me to Zanarkand?
Hey! You said you'd go with me!
Oh, hey,
Tidus finding himself in a hard place in a rock here. I'm not. They're really trying to show his playboy and star mentality here with this flashback.
You with a woman? You can't even catch a ball.
And then they're also trying to show with Jet his abusive nature, his verbal abusage towards Tidus, I guess.
That's the only thing you're good for.
So it really shows the psyche of where Tidus is at right now. All he can think about is how his father was totally abusive to him and how much he hated him, versus how he's trying to be like his father so hard with all the destructive habits such as womanizing and all that.
He's dead, okay? Dead.
He does look a lot like Chappu. I was surprised too, the first time I saw him. But no matter what he looks like, he isn't Chappu. You shouldn't have brought him here in the first place.
Yeah, but he needed our help.
Excuses again?
So Lulu being our most conservatively dressed character of the group. I'm not really sure what they were thinking with her design. She either looks too hot from the waist up and too cold from the waist down, so I'm not really sure.
Scary.
So what we just talked about was Chappu. Chappu's his brother.
My little brother, Chappu. He looked like you.
He's dead?
He was with the Crusaders when they fought Sin last year. He didn't make it. I first heard on the day of the tournament.
Oh, so that's why.
I became a guardian to fight Sin, yeah?
Revenge, then?
That was the idea. I'm more worried about a stupid game now than avenging my brother. Well, After the next tournament, I'll be a guardian full-time. I know it kinda looks like I'm using you, but I'm not.
Don't worry. I mean, I owe you a lot. You really helped me out, you know? What I mean is... Thanks, Wakka.
Stop. You're embarrassing me.
Alright, so he just told him about Chappu. So Chappu died fighting Sin. That's why Wakka has this real hatred towards Sin, and that's why he became a guardian. So we see a little bit of his motivations and his character development here. Wakka and the others are waiting for you outside. So, on the ship we picked up our last Albed primer. There's another one right here. Volume 2. So, like I said, every primer corresponds to a letter in the English alphabet.
Hey, sleepyhead. Something I want to give you.
Whoa! You're giving this to me?
Yeah, use it well.
So we just received the Brotherhood.
Well, he never used it. Where's Yuna?
It's actually the sword we see Tidus holding in the North American release of the North American release of Final Fantasy X. The cover actually has Tidus holding the sword in the water in the ocean by Besaid here.
This is our journey. We should leave together.
This moment is also really sweet because it really shows Yuna's age. She's supposed to be 17, same with Tidus here, so they're very naive. So that's why they have this scene here where she basically packs up everything, literally everything, to take with her.
Okay, off we go.
You'll see Yuna doing this a lot in most of the game. She's basically saying goodbye to the places she's visiting, thinking she'll never come back to see them ever again. So I'm going to go ahead and call it an episode here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for liking and subscribing. We'll continue again for episode 5 next time. Thank you.